Okay. Yeah, hey. No, Romonger! You've betrayed me again for the last time. Don't worry about it. When you get it, you get it. But I definitely would want to see the progress that you made on Sten. Even with the green stuff, she was looking pretty sharp. So you know what? Tonight is going to be tonight's going to probably go by kind of quickly. It'll be a lively discussion. We're going to talk about now taking the 5 individual characters and building a party and kind of a character sheet off of that. So we as PCs, as we have PC talk, say, okay, this is our role. This is what we're good at doing. These are the things we're not so good at doing, as a way to try and both in meta terms and then in roleplay terms, how we can go about exposing and covering each other's weaknesses as we advance through whatever because if we're PCs, we shouldn't know what the DM is plotting, but to go through whatever the scenario is that the DM has. And then, of course, we'll take a quick break and come back, and we're going to put on our DM hats and say, here's our party. They gave us a little bit of information, and this is how we're going to write some kind of a compelling campaign that's going to take them on a journey through, in this case, through Mesomasca, which we should still have. Yep, we have open right down here. Which is this kind of creepy, I should still have it, yeah. I have I keep props nearby just in case something happens. But as we built this island off of the shape of a mask, and the nice rivers and everything make an extra fun little touch that it's a weeping one. Drinking that early, what's wrong with that? Nothing. Wish I had thought of that, says Bubonic. Oh, you got the plans back on Thursday. Gotcha, Romonger. Okay. Oh, yeah, and that was some pre-gaming. Loudy. Today when covered an orphanage run by mind flayers. Ooh. So, a farm? Really? I mean, let's be real about that. And Bubonic, if any of you hadn't seen, Bubonic uploaded a level 20 wizard. Yeah. Bubonic uploaded a level 20 wizard to our Discord, and you were having a little bit of lamentation because epic, like level 20 or epic in 5th edition is not like level 20 to 30 in 4th, or even epic level in 3rd. And I completely get that sentiment that you had, Bubonic. Though in the scale of the things that you can do versus what other people can do, you are still very, very powerful. Alright, so speaking of pre-gaming, I did a little bit of pre-game before tonight's show here. And I only got to do a little bit. It's not nearly as comprehensive a worksheet as I came in with last week. Of course, last week was a very plot-heavy, very intricate party that we needed to pull together, and as well as run a story for. And you helped the orc factory workers start unionizing. See, now, no, I was gonna have a comment on that. I'll And by the way, old habits die hard, right? That the 40k orc with a K. Or are the orcs here now starting to slip into this kind of, junker builder sort of style orc with a K, like from 40k instead of D&D? Okay, so I did a little bit of footwork ahead of time, and here's our 5 party members that we generated over the course of the week. We had Rakami Thunder Drums. Oh, come on, go back. I didn't pull you. There we go. Rakami, female half-orc, Bard, College of Lore. Now, I'm sorry, one quick side note. Their levels we generated them at don't necessarily matter for purposes of what we're doing. Part of that was just the challenge, the on-the-fly challenge of building a character of X level. We're really just seeing who has what and in which direction are they going to be likely to go in. And so we went over a whole background here. Feels tremendous empathy for all who suffer. I'm oblivious to etiquette and social expectations. Her ideal is power. Solitude and contemplation are paths towards mystical or magical power. Nothing is more important than the other members of my hermitage, order, or association. And I like keeping secrets and won't share them with anyone. Warhammer 40k is primarily a tabletop miniature, like a squadron-based shoot-'em-up game. I mean, you can do other things with the minis too. And then there are a lot of PC games that are derived from that property. It is not an MMORPG as far as I know, Dell. Wait, Ro, you think that there's a... Did I miss something, that there's a 40k MMORPG? I mean, we're not counting Eve here. Come on now. It is PC tabletop, yeah, says Bubonic. Hey, helping them greenskins do something is a good idea, says Bubonic. By the way, you got to throw out your obligatory Go Eldar. Come on, man, you're slipping. Fantasy. Got it, yeah. Dell was hoping for a free-to-play game, but haven't gotten around to looking into it much at all. Oh, geez. What did I step in now? Eve, Xenon? Are we going for noble gases now? You don't even want to see what my Neon army can do. And Argon? Oh, forget about it. Argon's new codex is coming out soon. Bako Water Dogs. Bubonic, I think you have been celebrating St. Patrick's Day alongside Romonger here, so cheers, right? Oh, gosh. You all are great. Eva's cool-looking ships and incredible visuals and music. Beyond that, meh. You always get people trying to buy things 2 minutes after closing. The room is kind of spinning. Oh, jeez. Well, I still appreciate you coming out and spending time with us, Ro. So after Rakami, on Tuesday, we made Grimhilder von Alle. And she is a fiendish warlock that is she's going evil. Something happened where she was studying in her faith, and there was a demonic revelation to her, perhaps guised as an angel of this faith or some sort of a messenger. And sure enough, she entered into a pact and has been set on this new path. She quotes or misquotes sacred texts and proverbs in almost every situation. She's enjoyed fine food, drink, and high society among the temple's elites. And a little bit of her backstory, pardon me. Oh, I haven't been drinking. This is that, hey, you know, like, you're calm down now, breathe as you talk, and you're talking too quickly kind of a thing. So sorry about that. Dell says, I heard the music first on an online ambient ethereal music stream, and that's what made me check the game out. Yeah, Dark Wolf, if you work in that resort, tomorrow's going to probably be really interesting. In the late morning and afternoon. Try in advance for more misspelled words than normal. Don't worry, Ro. Bobicus, I wish I knew how to share stories about Parak, my Kenku. Oh, well, no, you've talked about your Kenku character before, Bobicus. He has lots of great moments because every time he talks, he implies things about his backstory, because he can only say things he's heard before, but nothing that makes a coherent story. No, that you've talked about this this character of yours really ever since you started coming and hanging out with us. Playing Eve is a job, and I already have one. Pardon. All right, so you guys are, I love the chat. Don't get me wrong. I'll happily stop what I'm doing here to read and interact with chat, because you all are an amazing group. So we made these two together, and we said, you know what? Rakami is probably an accidental. Well, she doesn't know that she's become an acolyte herself to Grimhilder, who's going to end up leading her to her own bond. I would let others die to recover an ancient relic of my faith that was lost long ago. Sorry if the washing machine, it's on a spin cycle right now, so if that's getting kind of intense, it'll stop in a little bit, so hang in there. On the following day, we ended up making another Warlock, and this one was Lawful Evil. So here we have Lokiadius Kilmus, and he has his own thing going on. In fact, from how his personality, and as I talk, let your eyes scan over what we've done. Enjoy the work we've put into this character here, especially on the background, on the bonds and the flaws, compelling things like this. And so, as we developed him, it seems that he's going to be a rival to Grimhilder. So he'll come along on this, and he might be a peer in some way, but he's going to be a rival within the party itself. Next, we made Lentilli Diver, who's a Wata monk, right? Way of the Open Hand, W-O-T-O-H. Human. So, human, tiefling. We're playing on Mesomasca. Boom, we got there. Randomly. We just let this stuff happen, and it's happening in front of us. We don't need to be worried about storytelling, about how do we put two of these things together? Like, how do we connect 2 points? It's going to be impossible. No, it's happening right here. Our story's coming alive in front of us, and we've only just generated characters in a map. Chaotic neutral all the way, says Bubonic. Yep, we rolled her as chaotic neutral. Bobika's chaotic neutral is just chaotic evil and denial. Fight me. You can set up the sign in the park, right? Change my mind. Rowan, I bought... oh, you bought a slave from the drow with the intention of freeing, but now she won't leave. Oh, so she's probably kind of institutionalized, right? Why would she leave you if she's used to people who are providing her food and safety and other things like that? So that's going to be an interesting roleplay side challenge for you, Ro. And then, of course, you got to ask yourself, if you did it for one, are you going to do it for more? Where's this going to end? And so she had her own very unique personality. We kind of flavored it, not to bring up any sort of weird taboos or social things. But we kind of flavored it that she might have realized that she had some kind of an affection for Rakami, and but Rakami wasn't interested, wasn't reciprocating. Right? Look, these two share the same personality traits, and so she left her order possibly after having this personal revelation of her feelings. She followed Rakami into her hermitage, and of course, Rakami says nothing is more important than the other members of my hermitage, and so there was, possibly one-sided romantic, one-sided platonic feelings in some way. Then comes Grimhilder, and she comes along, and Rakami's just, yes, I will follow you. I'm seeking spiritual enlightenment. You're a person who works with these spiritual forces. I want to come along with you. Well, of course, Lentilli's not going to let that fly. Is not going to let Rakami go alone, especially if she knows that maybe Rakami can be easily duped. Now we have a party of 3, and then of course Lokiadius is going to be in the mix here too, and so she probably doesn't trust. She doesn't trust Lokiadius. Grimhilder doesn't necessarily trust him, or at least not innately, like maybe as a fellow pact holder, if that's even something that comes out. And Rakami's along for the ride. Now we add in our last character that we generated last night, Bess Lurok. And she is a smart paladin. Look at this. Nice, big, 14 intelligence. And look at all of the intelligence scores. So for being the paladin, she's the smarty of the group. She has a lot of the int skills that are are going to help research things and find things. And so she is empowered by her faith and chaotic good, right? So we have a chaotic neutral, chaotic good. So maybe Babacus will say that, chaotic good is just, or chaotic neutral is just chaotic good in hiding or whatever, in denial, fight me. If you save my life, then you're responsible for it. Yep, that's another philosophy that can be taken too, Babacus. Oh, you sound like my DM. I generally translate good, evil to, selfless and selfish, and lawful, chaotic to principled, unprincipled. Yeah, we had an amazing conversation. If there's anyone new in here and you're just watching us have this conversation, go back in the videos on demand and look for the one about the nature of evil. It's also up on YouTube. It should be by this point in time. If not, it'll be up. It'll probably be up tonight after this broadcast ends, since the day waiting period is over. But yeah, Babacus, you make some very good points. Bubonic, stuff it, Babacus. You're just in denial. And so here she comes along, and she's, these two are probably going to end up being rivals in the same goal. She isn't necessarily a rival for the same reason. She's an inadvertent rival because what they're seeking is probably some sort of lore that she's also seeking and wanted to come along. And it just so happens that, yes, she's a sage, she's a smarty pants, but she's a shield and spear fighter with a pretty decent AC and hit points for days, and she will resolve conflicts along the way. I'm convinced that people are always trying to steal my secrets. I use polysyllabic words that convey the impression of great erudition. She pursues knowledge. So in this case, now what we have is something very interesting, is that Rakami, right, if we're talking as players, if someone is playing Rakami and we're talking about the relationships within this party, while Rakami does follow Grimhilder, there's almost a rival to Grimhilder, the neutral evil character, with this chaotic good best character for the attention or affection of Rakami, who's this neutral good bard. Meanwhile, talk about not wanting to reciprocate. And then of course Lokiatis is just, sitting back, and they're like, this isn't even a harem romantic comedy anime. He's seeing this play out around him, and he's okay. This just means that I'm going to strike when the time is right and get the thing that I'm looking after. Yeah, Bubonic says just a stiff neck who can't have fun while doing anything. Lawful evil. Oh yeah, for Ellie. Lawful evil is a man who knows that true fun comes from beating your enemies at their own game. Yeah, using their own weapons against them, or if they bring a knife, you bring a gun, that kind of a thing. And chaotic evil is just plain evil. I hate evil for evil's sake. Well, it's because what? You just go around and you're gonna burn brightly until you're snuffed out. Dark Wolf is home at last. Well, it's, get comfy, grab something to eat or drink, put some comfy pajamas on or whatever, because we're going to be up for a little while, and settle in for whatever we have in store tonight. All right, so here's the starting party worksheet, or almost the party character sheet itself, where we've taken all 5 characters and we've spread them out statistically, and we're looking at areas of redundancy. Whether that's good or bad, we don't know just yet. Dark Wolf, yeah, I agree. PJs and tea. I'm going to be getting the tea part here. Unfortunately, I'm still a little while out from pajamas. I don't have like a fun kigurumi or something that I can wear on stream. But I don't know, maybe that'd be fun to invest in one day, and just we can have a PJ party, right? We're talking about adventuring parties. We can have a PJ party on stream. And so what I did was I highlighted who is the what of this category. So here in strength, Rakami and Bess are going to be our workhorses. They're going to be putting in that strength work to move logs, to push over boulders, to do climbing, swimming, etc. Dex, we have a fairly dexterous party. 16, 16, 16. 12 is a little above average, and 8 is a little below average. So shooting fireballs at our party, right? So if we submit this to our DM, it's not that we'll never see fireballs, but we probably won't see as many. Con, we are solid. Oh my gosh, this party is so beef and spice. Look at this. 14, 14. And we'll not talk about Lokiadius, but then again, his whole thing is I have other people to do the things that I need to do because I know that I'm weak. And that's kind of what's happening here, right? Whereas Grimhilder is actively manipulating Rakami, Lokiadis is just sort of playing Grimhilder's tune, and everyone else is coming along here. So why do you need a very vast HP pool when other people are going to be willing to take the hit for you? Lentilli, the monk, with a fat 16 con, hit points for days there, and Bess at a very solid 14. This party is going to... you're going to get some good fights as a DM from this party. Int is okay. You know, look at this. 10, 12, 15, 10, and 14. So no one's a dummy in the group. Everyone has at least average intelligence. And it's always interesting to see, okay, so yeah, here we have a charisma caster, and it makes sense, okay, right, she's magical, so let's let her research arcana and other things. But boom, the second highest intelligence in the party is a paladin. Mind blown. How many times have you seen that happen? Yes, Chaotic Evil does get snuffed out the fastest of all evils. It's because when you don't care about the consequences, those consequences are going to rush up and meet you even sooner. Chaotic Evil is so much fun if you play as an unprincipled, selfish, and leave out the unnecessary evil for evil's sake. Neutral Good, Lawful Neutral, and Chaotic Evil are my favorite alignments to play. Neutral Good, True Neutral, and Chaotic Neutral are bubonics, sort of in counterpoint to Bobicus. Yeah, PJ Party and PJ Adventures. Bobicus, have we figured out the campaign's name? Not yet. That's something that I wanted to work out with you all after we have a discussion about the party, and then, you know, take our break, come back, and we'll sort of plot out the milestones. What will happen along the way as the group levels up. Yep. Dark Wolf kind of beat me to it, and then we'll see if we can end up making a good pun about it, because I do find that campaign names that are puns or that are sort of clever references to things that are inside the campaign tend to stick out in people's minds a little bit more. Clark is producing a rare Pepe for us all. Unfortunately, I only see the text. Happy St. Patrick's Day to you, Clark. Thank you for coming in and joining us here. No, we did figure it out. PJ Party and PJ Adventures. Now, what was the other? Oh, by the way, we listed out the saves too. Charisma, 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 charisma. Wisdom, wisdom, wisdom. 2 dexes and 1. Look at this one little solitary strength just kind of sitting over here, minding its own business. No con save proficiencies. Now, all the party members have like at least halfway decent cons, but no proficiency on that, and no proficiency on intelligence. This is going to tell our DM that certain types of magics and traps are going to be extra devious against us. You don't see a lot of love for Lawful Neutral, but it's a great alignment for a loyal soldier or a faction agent, which is a great role-playing setup for a character. Pardon me. Clark says, I found out my favorite band is releasing a new album in May today. Was literally bouncing in my seat from excitement. Oh, that's cool. What is this band? You're certainly welcome to talk about that kind of stuff, Clark. Now the party skills, and we're going to exclude the bard because the bard is proficient. No, stop. I'm not doing that. Okay. Our bard is proficient in so many skills, and those in which she's not proficient, she gets jack of all trades, or in this case, Jill of all trades. So for our 4 other players, they have Arcana, Deception, Insight, Investigation, Religion, Intimidation, Persuasion, Sleight of Hand, Stealth, Athletics, Medicine, History, und Nature. And our tool proficiencies are herbalism kits, and there's some instruments thrown in on the bard. Disguise kit, thieves tools, smiths tools, brewers supplies, and alchemist tools. This is a way for us as players to say, all right, so here's the things that we can do rather well, and maybe the resources that we're going to try and seek out that are going to help us along the way. Now with all of this spread out, we can do what's called a SWOT analysis. You'll often find a SWOT analysis in business, and that stands for strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. These first 2 letters represent internal measures, internal factors. The last 2 are external to the party. They're called Shinedown. Very hard rock sound, but many songs are much more melodic and metaphorical than heavy guitar riffs. So I guess I'm having some trouble trying to... I guess I'm having a little bit of trouble, Clark, in how to... I don't want to say visualize. How to comprehend the mix that you're talking about. Oh, pardon me. So, this is us sitting as PCs around a table. And we're saying, okay, so we've made our characters, and we kind of, like, we already know as PCs the relationships that exist that we just talked about. And we're going to present those to the DM as ways to say, look, these are things that we will play out along the way, but we want you to be aware of them. Though we need to see where we can improve ourselves or have the greatest set of role-playing opportunities. Strengths. Whoop. Solid ability scores across the way. Oh, darn it. Stop it. Sorry, I've been up and busy all day, and while, you know, I have the hypnotic trance of the washing machine going off on the side, this isn't me being tired or uninterested in what we're doing tonight. This is that getting back into, look, breathe as you talk, your body needs oxygen, let's go from there. It's hard to explain. Some of their songs have really heavy riffs, and others are extremely melodic. Well, Clark, if you want to provide a link maybe to one of their songs on, if they have a YouTube channel, and if there's a song that you think encapsulates who they are, you can share it in the Discord or something along those lines. That'd be fine by me. Oh, come on now. Oh, gosh. I'm not even gonna... There we go. We get some nice calisthenics and stretching going on. Alright, so our strengths, these are internal to our party that we manufactured. We have solid ability scores. And we do have... Whoop. I mean, if you look at this, the spread of skills that we have, having a bard aboard is going to be great for overcoming skills. But if we look at the spread of skills that this party has, some of these are redundant. They can get a lot of things accomplished. That said, there's some great tool proficiencies that are in here too. Disguise kit, thieves tools. These both can help the party in so many ways, let alone the individual. And then we can have some fun with smith's tools, brewer's supplies, and alchemist tools. Oh, and then of course there's the herbalism kit too. Our weaknesses? Oh, pardon me. Highly redundant saves. If the big bad evil guy, the BBEG, in-game figures out the party's weakness, you can expect to be making con saves more often than not. Dex is... I didn't highlight a Dex character because 3 were kind of tied for the tops. So Dex could be... it's not even really a weakness. Definitely con is. And that's going to spell some trouble for our casters, because if they need to concentrate on any of their spells, getting hit in combat's not going to be the most optimal thing that could happen to them. So we have highly redundant saves, and we do have, in roleplay terms, some RP, we'll call it at odds with each other. Right, because we have this quasi-love triangle going on within the party that can provide a distraction. Hey, it's done. Opportunities are external to the party. And we're going to have... This is... an amazing setup for great role-playing. Because of the existing relationships of the various degrees that exist here, there's going to be so much fun. I'm just imagining this playing out at my own table. There's going to be so much fun to be had between these characters. Some poison saves are going to be devastating. Oh yeah, except for the dwarf, right? Clark says, I'll link a song that's extremely heavy lyrics, I think. It's from a live performance, and the singer explains what the song actually means versus what people thought it meant. You can put it in Table Talk, in the general, the open one. And then if you want to give a little blurb or explain the link too, you're certainly welcome to do so, Clark. And thank you for asking ahead of time. So we have an amazing setup for great roleplay. As well, we have... we're going to have a... If we're trusting our DM, we're going to have a good chance at succeeding whatever he or she's going to put in our path because of the way that we are spread. Yes, that does have some redundancies, but so what? And the threats... They can pull the party apart from external threats, from things that are outside, and this is pulling at the strings that are holding together the party, and they start fraying and coming apart. And there's arguing between the characters, hopefully not between the players, but there's arguing between the characters going on too, and it's that could be a problem as well. And here's the clincher, because the person playing Lokiadius here is... do we want to say a double agent? I don't know about a double agent. But if you just look at his personality, and yeah, we've talked about his role in this party and the things that he's going to do, there could be a major exploitation against him, and then as he ripples out into the rest of the party. And, oh yeah, or diseases. Yep, or illusions can be devastating because they're mostly in saves. Have you found what it is yet? Behold his bond. And the reason I say that is because I think we as DMs, as we're getting ready to then switch into how we're going to plan out the group, I think we just found the big bad evil guy of this campaign. Something to think about. Okay. There's our party. Nice and easy. Look at this. Oh, we got a bard, 2 warlocks, a monk, and a paladin. Very interesting distribution. We do have some healing. We do have a tank. We do have arcane support. We have melee support. There's just a lot here that you can address as the party. So I'll tell you what I'm going to do. Speaking of tea and pajamas, I'm not going to change into pajamas, but I am going to make some tea because I bought some new stuff while I was out earlier. And so I'm going to go and do that. Hang out for just a little bit. I'll still be in chat after I get my tea. I'll come back a little bit so I'm not slurping on the mic. And we'll get a little bit into how we want to go about bringing a party through a campaign set in Mesomasca.